Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Well, we'll say welcome to everybody while we are waiting to get our technical difficulties straightened out. So bear with us here just a few minutes.
Mm, mhm.
Dr. Abraham, say something because Tiffany is
Good,
trying to get her
good
sound
morning.
going.
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay.
All right. Yes.
Headset, headset on ear, optimize. Yeah, I can hear
Sounds
you.
promising.
Well, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Wow, look at that. I don't know what that was about, and I apologize for the delay. But I hope everybody's doing well this morning. Thank you for your patience as I get that worked out. Veronica had to come and save my life over here. So I hope everybody had a wonderful time at the Institute, which is, I guess, a couple of weeks ago now. It seems like it's been a little bit longer, but I know I had a great time. I hope all of you had a wonderful time. Um, I don't really actually have like slides and stuff today. This is more of a another touch point for us to have with you all. I do want to give you a couple announcements and then I'll leave it open for you all to ask questions and whatnot. So today is Tuesday, November 12th, which means that on Friday, you all need to make sure you have submitted all of your reimbursement requests for the Institute. The 15th is the absolute last day. There's not going to be another opportunity. Well, I missed the 15th, so we'll just do it later. Nope, it has to be submitted by the 15th. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me or you can reach out to Vito, who is handling all the reimbursements. Um, I did see a couple of folks earlier today had sent their direct deposit form, so we'll make sure to get that process for you so that you can get your reimbursement, excuse me, via direct deposit. But please make sure you submit all those forms. I don't want you to miss out on funds that you can be reimbursed for. Also, the 15th is our finance 15th day. So if you have anything that is related to academic support, scholar support, or professional development, the 15th is when I go in and check on that. It's when I go in and approve or reject any forms and make any if you've already submitted your receipts, that's when I'll go in and submit those to Vita so we can get those taken care of for you. Also a reminder, our office will be closed December 13th, which is a Friday, I believe is our last day in the office for the remaining part of the year. And we will not be back in the office until January 6th. I won't leave you like super high and dry. So if you have an emergency and you need to reach out to me, you can send a text to my office line and I will get it on my cell phone. But I can't make any promises that I'll, see it right away. We have been requested by our organization president that we like really unplug and not do any work. So if you have some things that are coming up, please try to reach out to us before the 13th so that we can get you squared away. We will probably do one more office hours session sometime between December 1st and December 13th, just to give you all another chance to connect, to give last minute announcements, any questions about stipends, things like that, so we can make sure that you've got everything in order to close out the fall semester, but also going into this spring semester. Dr. A, what am I missing?
No, you've hit it all. And really, if anybody runs, just a moment, Veronica, if anybody does run into a problem when it's closed, as Tiff says, and I offer the same, please feel free to message me. We will respond to you. That because we know things happen, things come up, and if it has to be, please do, yeah, don't not address something that
Don't wait
needs
till
to be addressed.
January. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't wait. Just reach out. We will respond. But no, you covered it all. Veronica, saw you.
Yes, I do want to remind you, if you have not already completed all of your surveys, including the
Mm.
closing
Yes,
survey,
thank you.
the 17th, which is a Sunday, is our deadline. So you should have received an email from me with a Post-Institute FAQ, and the link is there, and I can also put it in the chat. Additionally, we're still working on the 2024 Institute photo gallery, so be on the lookout for photos that will appear on the website. And if you had a request for a specific photo, there's some identifying information I would need you to send to me, and I can pass that on to Charles if I need to in order to get you a copy of the photo. I will be sending a note to presenters so that for those who are willing to share their slides or presentation that they did at the Institute, we will put them up on the site. And I think the few of them are still in the app, and you should still have access to the app for now, but we're going to try to migrate everything to our website once I get a response from all of the presenters who did have something to share. And I think that's it
All right.
for
Okay,
me.
Good.
cool.
Good reminder. Thank you.
One other thing that I wanted to gently say, but not address in detail, is that we are acutely aware of the political space that we're in. And we want to make sure that you all are taking time for yourselves and being safe and really just looking out for each other. I don't think I'll leave it at that. Please make sure you're taking care of yourselves, particularly as we go back to friends and family over the holidays. Just make sure you're taking care of yourself, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that you're in a good space so that you can do the things that we need you to do, which is complete your degree and get out there and change the world. So I want to put that
Yes.
out there. So those are pretty much it for our announcements. What can we answer for you all today? Italia, I got an update for you. So I'll email you after this. We're good.
I always got something to say.
Hello, winning.
That's good. That's
So,
good.
it's not necessarily questions, but a request for consideration. Um, I still get emotional at the thought that I missed SREB this time,
It's
and it was
okay,
out
Dee
of my
Dee.
control, right?
Right.
Um,
Mhm.
but in the future, like considerations for people who have an emergency, like if there could possibly be a way that we could um, tap into still being able to view some of the sessions would be extremely helpful. Like I was laid out, but I could watch something on Zoom and I could
Right.
participate that way. And I don't know if that's been a consideration, if that's a possibility. Um, and I would have rather to have gotten something than nothing, if that makes
Gotcha.
sense.
And I will say we did have our AV company did take some video of the plenary sessions and general sessions. We're still waiting. Well, our institute coordinator, Robert, he is on vacation this week, well deserved. So when he returns, he'll be in contact with the AV company so that way we can see um, how we can get that information and being able to share it with you also. It is coming. Just we weren't in a position to do it from a live standpoint at the Institute.
Yeah.
Donovan, I see your question in the chat about the reimbursement. You're referring to conference reimbursement, yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Um, it has most likely been received, but I will check on that for you. There are a lot. There's like 1,000 reimbursements that are coming through, so I'm not sure if we're able to dole out confirmation, but I will check on that for you and let you know.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. And Emily, you have a question regarding funding after the end of year. Talk to us.
Yes, good morning. So I think Dr. A was saying something about when the end of the year three comes and then trying to get ahead of that and talk to the dean or whoever at your school. So I had emailed financial aid and basically was like, hey, like I just wanted to double check this information. And basically, what they had told me was they do not have any information for the 25-26 academic year yet about financial aid. So I wasn't really sure how to approach that or like to get on that or anything.
Right. So, number one, you're definitely doing the right thing. So, all of our scholars who came in 2022 are getting ready to cycle off of their 3 years of funding. So, 25, 26. This will you will not receive direct funding support from SREB. And so when we are wanting you to make sure that you have funding in place, it's really like your tuition and stuff will still be covered. But we want to make sure that your department knows that they are supposed to pick up the stipend for you. So you're not going to get a stipend from us, but what you'll need to do is reach out to your department chair or the graduate dean and just essentially remind them, listen, I'm coming off of my 3rd year of direct support from SREB, and I wanted to make sure that you all have me on the list, because you're required to pick up my stipend. And if there are other questions about that, we can talk with the dean, we can talk with your department chair, but it is their responsibility to pick that part of your stipend up. But part of the reason that we're telling you to do it early is so that they can count you into the funding that they have. Because we know some departments have, this much funding and some departments have this much funding. And regardless of where it works out, we want to make sure that you're covered. So I'm not terribly surprised that financial aid gave you that answer,
Right.
but I would say let's why don't you reach out to your department chair, and you can copy the dean on your email, and you can copy us on your email as well,
Yes.
just to again remind them it's time for y'all to pick up y'all's part of the deal. So yeah.
Okay, and then just a quick follow-up to that as well. So I remember that when we signed the stuff, like when, like, the MOA and all that kind of stuff, it basically said, and I don't know if this is different depending on university, but I know mine was basically like the whatever stipend they give us would be increased to 20. Do you know if that changes or if that was dependent on what the school stipend was at the time? Because at the time, this department was giving us about 14,100. So that
Mhm.
was like a, 6,000 or so increase. Whereas
Mhm.
today they've increased to like, I think, 15,000 or something like that. So
Right.
so I just wasn't sure if I needed to mention that or if there's a change or anything.
Yeah, so absolutely mention that. The idea, the agreement is that provided there are funds available, the department will pick up the stipend at the same rate that we have provided to you for the past 3 years. So we pay the 20 as long as there are funds available and they can work it out. They are also supposed to cover a $20,000 stipend for you.
Got it. Okay,
For
cool. Thank you.
years 4 and 5. Yeah.
But Emily,
Perfect.
be aware that as part of that agreement, the way it is written, they it is not ironclad that it has to be 20. It has to be at the departmental level. We request that it be at least at our, the way we word it, it is requested that it be at least at our rate. But if they said, well, our departmental rate is 16, 15, 17, they are on solid ground to say this is what our department offers. So, but it does say we ask them to do it at the current rate. So, quote unquote, you all don't take a reduction in support. But we can't hold them. You couldn't say it says right here in black and white that it's 20,000 because it's not worded that way. So, just
Okay.
want you
Well,
to be very aware of that.
Yeah, that's
and
great to know.
also that's why we want you to contact both
Yes.
your department chair and your dean, because a lot of times what will happen is that the department will be able to cover at whatever their department rate is, say like 15,000, and the graduate school may is the operative word, they may be able to kick in the other $5,000 to get you up to that 20,000.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'll probably be copying y'all on that email. So
No, you
thank you. I
should.
appreciate
And
it.
you
Yeah,
should.
absolutely.
You should.
Absolutely.
Um,
Dee Dee asks, when is spring registration due? Please make sure that you are registered for classes no later than January 15th. If you want to get paid by us at the end of January. And if there happens to be an issue, as usual, reach out to us, let us know. Sometimes there, registration holds, whatever. We can work around that, but you got to let us know.
I have a question or a couple questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you submit a PD reimbursement form if you didn't do the advance application to get pre-approval?
Yes, but reach out to me first so that I know what I'm looking at. So in the next few weeks and going into January, heads up, Veronica, we are going to be taking down all of those forms off of the website, because we do want you to submit all of your professional development, academic support, scholar support, whatever, through the portal. And so when you do that, again, we do still ask for you to do that 30 days in advance, so we have an idea of how much money is going to be going out, things like that. But I can still, yeah, just reach out to me
But
first before you do it. And
Latrice, I think the key here is the 30-day advance is for a reason, and make sure that it helps you all Because if you're looking to do something that is ineligible, we want you to know that, hey, this is not going to qualify. So you don't plan around, oh, I'm going to get
Right.
this money, and and then you're left in the hole. So that's
Yeah.
why that's the major reason we try to do it in advance, so that you know that that is an eligible activity, and you will be reimbursed up to that 750 now.
750 now. Yeah.
But that's the reason for that. You put us in the position, if it's done less than 30 days, you put it in our hands to make a decision. If you take care of it in 30 days, there are no issues. If you come in less than 30 days or somebody doesn't do it, you're putting us in a position to make a decision about your support. And we don't like being put in that position to do that. We rather everybody follow the rules so that everything moves smoothly, because there are other things that will affect that decision at that point that you really don't want us to have to take into consideration. You take care of your end of the bargain, there are no issues. But if you put it in our hands, depending on the month, the amount of activities go on that are going on our end of it, I'd say, yeah, just make
Do it as
just do
early
it
as
just do it
you
as
can do it
early
as
as
early as
you
you
can.
can. And I
Yeah.
mean, some students do it like 2 or 3 months out, and that's okay too. Because like for example, like Dr. A was saying, I give you an example. Um, our office is going to be closed the majority of December, and we've got a lot of
Yeah.
off-site meetings and stuff in January. So our January time is going to be pretty limited too. Um, so if you know that you've got a conference coming up in February, if you want, you can go ahead and submit that so we can take a look at it, approve it, ask you whatever questions we need to ask, etc.
Okay. And then to get reimbursed for airport parking for the institute, do I just send the receipt, or is there a form to fill out too?
So there is a form. You should have received a email from Veronica Johnson last week, early last week. So Veronica, is that something you can?
I got it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So the form that's in
Oh,
there,
I see it.
you'll
Yeah.
need to submit it, right? Submit your receipts with that form so you
With
can
that
be
form.
reimbursed.
Okay. And Tiffany, I'll email you direct.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
What else? What other questions can we answer for you? Or do you just want to chit chat it up? It's all good either way.
Reimbursement for the conference, that's through mail, correct? That's not through direct deposit.
The aim is to do it through direct deposit. So if
Okay.
you do not have your direct deposit information on file, let me know. And I will send you the form that you can fill out. I can't, like when we send out our super bulk emails, I we can't like attach attachments to it. We can only do links, but this is an attachment. So if you need Donovan, if you need that form, just let me know.
Okay, I think it should be updated, but I'll
Okay.
double check. Sure.
Okay, cool. What else? Dr. A, what else do we need to cover?
Anybody else? Anything on your minds? Everybody feeling good about where they are and where we are? And
How's
I think
coursework going?
everybody okay? Right.
Yeah. How's writing and coursework and stuff going with everyone? Okay, I'm getting some faces. All right. Okay, I see y'all. All right. I'll let y'all slide today, but we're gonna talk about it later. Hanging in there. Good, good, good.
I did have one question. And put this back in my feedback as well, but a lot of people at the conference, and especially me this time around, going into my third year, going into my fourth year, with the writing piece specifically, and then also practicing presentations, will we have any opportunities to do that outside of the chalk talks? Maybe there's like a sign up and you do like a 3-minute thesis and you present kind of thing. That would be something I would be interested in just because it forces me to practice. And then also, in addition to the CV workshops, maybe there's some writing component. Maybe you bring in a chapter of your, maybe not a chapter, but a few pages of something you're working on, and that gets reviewed or what have you. Just interested if there's an opportunity for us to have something like that.
I think those are great suggestions. I don't know that we have anything like that lined up right now, but that's not to say that we won't in the future. I do know that NCFDD, this National Center for
Faculty
Faculty
development and
Diversity,
diversity.
set up every time. I know that they will be doing a 14-day writing challenge in the spring, and you all will all be included in that at no cost to you. I'm not exactly sure if they do like reviews as a part of that, but I know that we have already submitted everyone's name who's a part of the program, and so you'll be getting individual information from them. We tried to get y'all in for October, but
Yeah,
it was
we
a little
did try.
tight.
Yeah.
But I would also recommend reaching out to your either your department chair or the dean of the graduate school at your institution, because I know like Dr. A and I always try to attend the Council of Southern Graduate Schools meeting, and there's always a 3-minute thesis competition there. And so even if you're not interested in like the actual competition part, there is probably somebody on your campus who is making the 3MT space available. So let's see, Kinsey, you're at Clemson?
I am, yes.
Okay, so let me I can reach out to Natasha because I know Natasha
I know
Curtin
they
because
do
I
one
I
there.
know
I've
they do
I've been to the
3-minute
one there. I
thesis
think I
there.
judged it one year, so I know
Yeah.
they do that.
Yeah. I know our graduate school runs that.
Yes.
Yes.
But that
And I
is absolutely something that we could, if you all think that that's something that might be helpful to you, that's something that we can definitely look into for the future.
yeah, and it doesn't have to be a competition. Sorry.
No, I
No,
get,
no,
I get
no,
it.
no, 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 no.
I,
More like the practice part. I get that.
I got it. But Kinsey, did you put that in your in your evaluation, that suggestion?
I did, yes.
Okay, good. All right. And you do, I mean, we hear you loud and clear, and that's good feedback for us. And we hear you loud and clear. I can tell you, in terms of doing, if you will, formal presentations at the institute, you all will never have the opportunity. Never. That makes it sound so arrogant. So,
Yeah,
but
it's like
the idea is
that.
for you all to be going to sessions. We really don't want you doing presentations in terms of information to this
As
is for you all.
scholars, as
Yes,
like current
yes,
scholars. Now, let's clarify that. Once you
yes.
become a graduate scholar and you're out there making things happen, if you want to submit a proposal to actually do a presentation at the Institute, you are more than welcome to do so.
Yes.
But as a scholar, as a current student, we prefer that you just kind of take it all in.
That's a good suggestion, and we hear you. We hear you loud and clear. Kinsey, let me ask you because I'm in another session. I haven't been to one of the Chalk Talk sessions. Did you take advantage of that opportunity to get up there and do that 2-minute elevator speech, on the fly like that? Did you take advantage of doing that this year, or have you taken advantage of it in the past, I should say?
Yes, every year I actually go first because
Good, I like
and I
it.
do this in my classes too, but I just like to get it over with so I can set the bar for myself. So,
I
yes,
love
and
it.
I find it really comforting and fun, and then you get to learn about others' research. But of course, it's with like 15 to 20 people versus like a room full of 100. I mean, and some people like the smaller, and some people need the bigger to really practice that. Because
Right.
I don't know if I'm good at the public speaking when it comes to like hundreds of people, but maybe like 20 or so, I'm like, oh, this is easy. So
Right.
Got you.
That's a good point. I like that.
And thank you for the feedback on that, because like I said, I haven't been to one in several years, and I'm good. It helps us to hear you all give us directly feedback about, hey, yeah, I find this to be very helpful, and that's informative to us to hear that. So thank you.
yes, and also the chalk talks. Oh, so sorry. They're
No,
early
sorry.
in the morning, so not everyone makes it to that session.
Right.
So that's maybe to emphasize my point on the speaking thing. Okay, I'm done.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
I hear you.
Gotcha.
I hear
Thanks.
you.
Thanks. All right, Joy.
Hi, everyone. I am in the writing phase and I have committed to the three-paper dissertation format, which is extremely new. I'm moving away from the traditional format, and I'm just wondering if there are any resources, exemplar three-paper dissertations that are out there that I'm not aware of. It's still super new in my department. Good job, Kinsey. I'm glad I'm not alone. It's still very new in my world, and which is great because there's some flexibility there, but it's also a little daunting. So if anyone knows of any examples, I'm not STEM related. I'm looking at how GED learners internalize whiteness and using counter narrative as a pedagogical tool to disrupt that. So it's not quite STEM related three-paper dissertation, but more so, humanities, liberal arts, three-paper dissertation. So if anyone has any resources, any websites, any exemplars, any YouTube videos, TikToks, anything, I will definitely leave my email in the chat, and you can just feel free to email me.
Yeah, Joy, thanks for bringing that up. I personally have not seen anything that I can recommend at the moment, but we can absolutely take a deeper look into that. And Dr. A, what we could probably do is reach out to our NCFDD folks because they may have some.
Yeah. Joy, you're not alone in having to do that. And I know there are lots of other departments that have gone that route, and probably from what I am hearing, more moving in that direction rather than the more traditional dissertation.
Yeah.
It's getting people to get papers and publications out of their effort. This is a great heads up to us to be on the lookout for that, because you are right. The trend is to move in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
So that may be something we that would be something to put on the table for our advisory committee to see if we can get a session focused around that.
That'll be awesome.
Thank you for that. Yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you.
So while you're reminding me, Joy, for the rest of you, you were at the Institute, or at least most of you were. Are there some other things that you wish we could do? This is a good place for us to ask you that question. Are there some things that you wish that we were covering topic-wise at the Institute that we're not touching on, that you would like to share with us?
Dr. A, what is our theme for next year, or focus rather? Because I think this year was teaching, and
I think we're at research next year.
Next year.
Yeah,
okay.
research next year.
Okay. And
we're
I just
pretty,
asked that question in case people had something in mind with the
yeah,
research.
so kind of giving you all a heads up, the underlying theme focus next year will be research.
I'm not sure what sessions you have lined up for research specifically, but I know I struggle the most with developing specific aims and questions, although it's something we practice a lot in our classes. But when you go to do it on your own, you think, I have no novelty in my brain. So that would be a really good session if I were to reflect on this current year that I'm in for future students.
Kenzie, would you say a little bit more about when you mean in formulating your research question? Is that what you're referring to? Want to make sure I understand the context of what you just said.
That's correct. So,
Okay.
and I know the real answer is you have to read, but that's always the frustrating answer. And so it would be good to really have someone map it out and say, this is how you conduct a literature review. And this is where you look within those articles to generate some ideas, maybe the future direction section or what have you. And really just helping people orient, okay, this is a plan that I can use to get started. Because I had a really hard time just getting started. So
Okay.
So I'll share some pointers that were shared with me. This is Dr. A. Just go with me on this, okay?
Okay.
So SREB does a lot of work across the education spectrum. So our work obviously is focused on graduate education, post-secondary education, things like that. But one of the other things that we've been doing is working on a commission on artificial intelligence in education and what that looks like. And on one of my subcommittees is the vice provost of all things at Tennessee State, who is very into AI and how it can help graduate students, particularly PhD students, work through the process of writing. And so one of the things that was probably the most helpful tidbit that I've had across the dissertation process is that you should use or you should consider using like a Chat GPT or a Claude, or I think Poe is the other one that she told me. And just put in a prompt. You say, I'm writing a dissertation. This is what I'm writing about. These are the questions that I think I'd like to focus my research around. What are some things that I might be missing? Or if you have your questions already together, how are my questions aligned to my literature review? Like, I mean, just like little prompts like that. And it seemed, listen, let me tell you, it seemed so simple, but I promise you, I went in, I think I was using Claude. That's Claude.ai. It's another generative prompting tool like ChatGPT. But I went in one day and I just started typing out questions and reading what, the responses were. And it was like I was having my own personal advising session that was specifically related to the exact research that I was doing. And I cannot tell you how incredibly helpful that was, because advisors get busy and sometimes they can meet with you when you have time and sometimes they can't. But it was really helpful to me to go in and say, okay, this is what my topic is. This is what my research questions are. Are there things that I need to, are there things that I'm missing? When we're talking about what the gap in the research is, it's like, okay, this is my question. This is what I'd like to research. Where are the gaps or what are some gaps in this particular area that I might be able to address with this research? So I just want to put that out there, that Yeah, I know people use AI for a lot of different random stuff, but you can really use it to help you in the work that you're doing on your dissertation as well. So that's it. That's what I have to say about that.
Thank you. That's really helpful. So thank you.
That was good, Tiff.
Yeah,
All
okay,
right,
so it's
well,
not
that
all
was
bad stuff,
excellent.
you know?
Excellent. Excellent. I like that. I like that. See, y'all would have never gotten that answer from me because I'm so far removed from using that
I
tool.
know. But it really has been helpful. And the good thing, like when you sign up with some of these tools, or at least, have a login, even if you're using the free version of them, they store what you put in there. And so you can go back and look. And I'll also say that, as I was starting to develop, um, like some of my interview questions and things like that, I would say, okay, I need to develop an interview protocol based on these specific questions. It needs to be, you know, about an hour long. It needs to be an hour and a half long. However, I mean, you can, and like it's, you don't, take exactly what they have, but you see what it provides to you. And then you're like, oh, well, hey, I can add this. Oh, well, I didn't think about this. And, you're able to kind of fill in those blanks that, um, you might not be thinking about. So I personally have found it helpful. I would absolutely recommend it. And like I said, these are tools and suggestions that I got from our vice provost at Tennessee State, who also uses these same tools and suggestions with her PhD students as well. Yes, Joy. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I can piggyback off of what Kenzie is saying, but before there was a chat GPT and all of that stuff, I think what I really needed as a first year scholar was a session that was totally dedicated to the skills you need. So the differences between a systematic literature review and a literature review. What is a conceptual model? What is a theoretical framework? How do they go together? Um, those are just skills that a lot of professors probably won't teach you because the assumption is that you know them.
Mhm.
So if there were an opportunity to create a session that's just skill related, that's
So,
dedicated to skills, and I think that I'm holding to that as a former high school teacher. You have to teach the skills before the content, because the learners won't really get the content if they don't understand the skill first. And I'm speaking from personal experience. I had a professor to want the end product to be a systematic literature review, but there was challenges on how the professor was able to teach the how to, the differences between a systematic literature review and a literature review. So ChatGPT has been instrumental, and that has helped me tremendously. And even if there were a session on how to use ChatGPT, how to navigate it ethically, that'll be great as well. But skills are essential to writing skills are essential to writing the dissertation outside of the content alone. And that's what I'm learning right now in my third year. So if you could create a session all about skills, that'll be great.
yeah, Joy, I think that's a really great suggestion. I think that's something we definitely need, because I would say too that there were some things that, right, some skills, and I was like, oh, I need some refresher on this, and due to time limitations, there's only so much a professor can give to you. Dee Dee, you said your department has a hard no on AI, regardless of the flexibility of other departments in the institution in general. Yeah, I could see that. We're working to kind of break down some of those barriers, because we know that it's something that's not going away. It's not one of the things that we have been adamant about, um, sharing and pressing and moving forward with our AI commission, is that there is always going to be a human element to it. It's not like you're just going to go to Chat GPT and they're going to put together an assignment for you. Like you are the one who has to go in and ask the questions. You are the one who has to go in and make the tweaks. And again, I'm not saying that it's something that you have to use, but I know that I have also used it to summarize articles. If I've got a 50-page document where I'm like, okay, here's the link. Give me a paragraph synopsis of what I'm looking at. And then I can determine, all right, well, do I really need to go in and dig any farther? And yes, I know that's kind of the point of the abstract, right? But sometimes abstract still doesn't quite give you what it is that you're looking for. So, even if you cannot use it to help develop some of your documents or your tools, I think there are still other ways that you can use it that can be beneficial to you. Even if it's tell me the difference between a systematic lit review and, something else, or, why do, if I'm looking at doing a mixed methods review, mixed method study, how do I make sure that, both of my or all of my research questions, adequately respond to the type of study that I'm doing. So I think there are other ways that you can use it that can be helpful to you without just the what a lot of professors think of as a cheat tool, when it is definitely much, much more than that. Latrice, yes, we did have Wes Fondren from Coastal Carolina come and talk to us about some AI awesomeness, and it was great. So we actually saw him at the Council of Southern Graduate Schools meeting earlier in March, and I had to leave, and I told Dr. A, was like, listen, just if you could just go to this one session for me, I would appreciate it. And it has been really great. And I will say that Wes has also reached out to us and let us know that he really enjoyed doing that session. And so we're hoping to have him back next year as well.
Highly recommend, if you're with us next year, definitely go to his session. It was well attended, and every piece of feedback we have gotten so far has been off the charts, complimentary and excellent session.
Yeah.
Excellent session.
Can that person be in a bigger room next year? Because I tried to go, but it was full and I
It was
couldn't.
fall, yeah. Well, we took note of that as well, and the answer to that will be yes. We'll plan for that, because I think it will. Yeah, and you're giving me a thought that it could be a plenary, because
Yeah.
everybody needs to hear that.
Mhm.
And he does a really fantastic job at it. But yes, duly noted. Duly noted.
I know someone made a comment about industry. I was curious a little bit more about what you meant by that.
Hello, yes, that was me. So what I'm talking about when I mean industry, and I'm in the psych field, so this might be specific to like my area. But what I've seen recently is that with the sort of climate in academia, there's been a push toward going to industry. And one of the problems that people have been facing that I've heard from some of my friends is that because it is so heavily like, go to academia, go teach, there are like next to no resources and there's next to no information that our advisors provide to us on like what we could do or what we could look for. So I think that, potentially because there is all this confusion and nobody really knows what industry is or like what it would look like, information on comparing the two might be helpful for people who are confused or stressed or deciding about that.
Yeah, so Emily, that's a great point. And one of the things that we have been slowly, slowly trying to do is to incorporate more. Thanks, Anna. Good to have you on. We've been trying to incorporate more industry into at least our recruiting base at the Institute, because we know that, what is it, like 80% of you go into teaching. And then the
Yes.
other 20% go into industry or government, or non-government organization positions. And I mean, that's fantastic too, because we know that we've got quite a few of our graduates who are doing some really cool work. In the Was that last year? I think it was last year. We did do a couple of sessions, a couple of webinars in conjunction with Liberty Mutual, because they are looking for like data scientists to, work in their data science area. And that's Liberty Mutual Insurance Company. And so we have been slowly trying to put together some more opportunities for you all who are interested in going that industry route. Now, again, we still want you to be on a campus teaching at some point within your career, because that is how we're really making efforts in fueling the change to increase faculty diversity, right? But we also know that there's diversity issues everywhere. And so if you're going into an industry position, um, you're also making a difference where you are there as well. So it's something that we're moving slowly, but we're trying to get some other industry members on board with us and have opportunities available to you. I know Adobe was there
Yes.
recruiting this year, which was really exciting. That was their first year coming to recruit at the Institute. And I think I saw an email that said that they're already ready to come
Yes.
back next year. So, I
Yeah.
mean, there are, part of it too is that, we have to kind of get the names out there. So if you are in a corporation, or if you know somebody who's in a corporation who are looking for diverse candidates and diverse PhD scholars, let us know. We'd be happy to connect with them and let them know, like, you can't really make the excuse that, oh, well, we don't know where to find these diverse candidates. Well, they're really all right here in one place. So, there's really not that excuse. But if there are people that or the organizations that who are interested in hiring from our pool, let us know, and we can work on making those connections as well.
Do, oh,
No, go ahead.
okay. I was just going to let you all know that just strategically, we have given considerable thought of how we expand this program. And we are, as Tiffany said, we are looking to invite and involve the corporate community in what we do. They need folk who look like you all as much as higher ed does, quite frankly. And just so you know how we're thinking about it, that's where a lot of resources lay, is in that community. And we want them to help produce you as well as just siphon you off when you complete. But you have to be part of the process and helping on the production side of it. So we're looking at it as a resource for us to help more of you get these advanced degrees and go forth and do whatever you're going to go do. Obviously, we want you programmatically, we want you in academia, because taking the long view, we got to get more people of color in the academy moving through. And part of the answer, and a big part of that answer, is having people in front of those classrooms who look like the people who occupy the seats in the classrooms. So we're actually trying to hit this on several different levels, and we're growing it. So we're not doing it. It's not going to be one fell swoop, but we're building in that direction of being more inclusive of other, if you will, industries in this process of producing PhDs of color in this country.
Oh, I knew it was something I needed to say. Okay, hold on. I know there are a couple other questions in the chat. Let me pull up this email really quickly. I do have a funding opportunity available for folks who are at that dissertation stage. The Institute of Education Sciences, which is a part of the U.S. Department of Education, has some dissertation research grants available.
Yeah.
Let's see, this is a new program and we're really excited about it. If you have questions, I can send out this email. But I'm going to put a couple of links in the chat as well so that you can take a look at them. Let me put this in here. And these are, oh, not too long. Okay, hold on. That's the first one. All right, there's one. And then so my understanding, I've got a cousin who is a program officer there. And her name is Dr. Akila Nelson, and she says that she's more than happy to speak with you all individually if you have questions. But this particular opportunity is focused on the research. It says research must be focused on learners with or at risk for disabilities and on one or more of the following areas. So that's education systems, education technologies, low incidence disabilities, and post-secondary education. So take a look at those links and see if that's something that any of you might be interested in. Again, this is our way of trying to connect you all with some opportunities, funding opportunities, but also potential employment opportunities as well. So I did want to say that. And then again, we're also, like Dr. A said, we're slowly trying to put together some opportunities for you all who are interested in going into industry, but also into government organizations like NIH and NSF. And we're trying to get together with some of the national labs as well. So I mean, we're putting things in place. It's not an overnight type thing, but I do want you to reiterate and to let you all know that we are thinking about these things, as we know that there are plenty of you who would just be really, really great at these things. Let's see. Have we ever been connected to Pew Research Center in DC? Not our program directly, but our organization, SREB, has in the past. So that's definitely something that we can look into as well. So thank you for sharing that. Kinsey had a question. Would there be an opportunity for someone to discuss being an adjunct professor? And maybe this could go along with an industry partner. So absolutely. We did have a session that was, slightly related to that at the Institute. It was more about finding your institutional fit. So whether you're interested in teaching at a HBCU, a Research One institution, a regional institution, a liberal arts institution. But like I said, that's not quite it, but that's definitely something that we can look into. And if we may also be able to pull together some webinars also about what it's like to be an adjunct professor. All right. I know we're right around an hour. We scheduled this for an hour and a half if you all have if we need to go over time, but we're here for you to answer whatever questions that you might have. Dr. A, what else do we need to chat about? You're muted. Dr. A, you're muted. Dr. A, we can't hear you. You're muted.
Sorry about that. I was just saying that I didn't have anything else. I think you've hit on the big issues, but I was saying to you all, thank you for the feedback. You've given us some absolutely great ideas here.
Yeah.
And it's good to be able to hear you all express these things and your concerns and things you're looking from us to help provide. This is very, very helpful. Appreciate it.
Wonderful. All right, so we are recording this session. We will get this posted so that you all can view it asynchronously, share it with all your SREB friends, so that they can take a look at this as well. But until December, when we do our last session of this calendar year, please be safe out there. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you're taking care of your mental health, and have a great fall holiday season. And if you need us for anything, reach out to us. Let us know. Like I said, help us help you. All right. But please have a wonderful afternoon, a wonderful week, and we'll be in touch with you soon. Italia, I will send you an email this afternoon. All right. Thanks, everyone.
All right.
Take
Thanks,
care.
everybody, for your time this morning. Appreciate it.
Bye.